Has religion sucked the joy out of Christmas? It's what we talk about in our Candid Conversation, a short form of our podcast, the Dan and Can podcast. And we talk about is this religiosity of Christmas and forcing Christ back into Christmas and saying, make sure you say Merry Christmas and not holidays, and just getting this whole thing out. Has it sucked joy out of this? And we reflected in the episode on some of our own experiences. Now mine, I had a kind of secular experience. I grew up Catholic and we celebrated everything that the secular world would, Santa Claus, presents. And I look back fondly on my childhood. Just all the experiences I had, the joy of Santa and the gifts and celebrating with cousins and traditions we had and all that. And we asked Candy the same question. And she said for the most part, Christmas was her favorite time of year because it was one of the times where her family came together as a group, as a whole. Everyone was there and it was peaceful. And they got to enjoy each other. And there was some joy in that. But it wasn't full joy because in the back of her mind, they were always wondering, was this proper? Because one of the parents was always constantly saying, this isn't a true Christian holiday. We're doing pagan celebrations with this stuff. The presents are idols before God when you're looking forward to that. The Christmas tree, is that even Christian or is that a pagan symbol? Should we have it this year? And there's times where sometimes they wouldn't have the traditional stuff of a Christmas tree or stocking because we decided that was pagan this year. And it left a lot of confusion and a lot of trepidation with Candy on what is the season going to look like this year. And they wouldn't know until it finally came and they'd have a group gathering. And they always did. But there was a little joy sucked out because of the worry that came up to it. And through the episode, we're kind of reflecting on some things and how we parented and how things changed. And we realized that we were taking some of the joy out of our kids' lives because as strict Christian parents, we had to say, no, see, what's the reason for the season? This is about Jesus, not about the gifts that you get. Let's make sure we read this Bible story. And just almost like training a dog to sit and wait for your treat and obey, we had to do that with our children. Sit and wait until you see open these gifts that you see underneath the tree, until we read the Bible, until we give thanks to Jesus, until we do all this stuff beforehand. Now you can have that because we had to put everything first and in priority. And it was tough for them because they had this thing dangled in front of them and we held it and restrained it from them. And only until a couple of years ago, a decade after we deconstructed, we started realizing how much joy we had really in the season now outside the faith because we didn't have all these rules and regulations we had to follow, all these things we had to enforce on our kids and training them on what the season was all about. We finally could just enjoy our family. We finally could just focus on having a good time together and communion with each other. And true joy finally happened. And only in this, and in comparison to what it was before, did we realize how much joy we were missing out of beforehand. Because we were too busy trying to put Christ back into Christmas with our words and not acting on what that truly meant at this time of year.